Okay, hopefully, okay, here we go. All right, so it appears that even Google has a delay because I typed in go live, I did it live. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, Scott. Hey, Hermit. So, yeah, why is it a blank screen though? Why a black screen? Are you guys seeing a black screen also? Because you should be seeing my screen and not a black screen. Right. Can you hear my voice? Brilliant. Thanks, Scott. You should be seeing my screen now. Let me look at this darn setting again. It says stop broadcast, live, and craziness. Google, you really are frustrating. I don't even have a black screen in the background. I know that. Okay. Oh, you see it now? You see my live screen now? No, we're back to. All right. How about now? Great. I think I know what's going on. Let me put this over here. But if you see this, this is crazy. If you guys can see this, this is what I see when I'm trying to set up these live broadcasts. This is the way Google does it. And obviously it says live here. It says start. It's showing the screen that I was just on typing you guys. This is where we are. Enter a chat message. You are screen sharing right here. And this means it's showing a screen, which showing is video on the screen, which is showing the screen, which is video on the screen, and it goes on infinity. So I can't use this window, obviously. I have to move, well, it won't even let me move it out of the way slightly. Oh, brilliant. It takes forever to set this stuff up, and all mirrors, that's right. Google really sucks. Now I'm gonna keep the screen up over here. It says click this, maybe you guys can see it. It says screen sharing. It says you. I don't want me, I want to share the screen. Okay, allow FaceTime camera up here to the top right. Video devices become active, FaceTime. Well, I'm gonna say allow. But I have my camera taped. Not that I'm worried about my face, I just have it taped off. Screen share. One more time, screen share. All right, your entire screen. Let's try that. So I just tried that again. It said screen share my entire screen. And now we have a gray screen. It's got a delay, so let's see if it catches up. Okay, looks like it's sharing my screen. And it looks like it's going, let me shrink this down. It's going to take a minute for those mirrors to clear up, as Hermit calls them. It does have my tabs in the background, so this is hopeful. This is hopeful. This is their delay. I'm just waiting for it to clear up. I'm looking at the screen as you're doing it. It appears they have a 15-second delay still. And then I can jump into it. Let's see if I can pull it up on my cell phone. And that way I can make sure you're looking at what I'm looking at. This is still mirrors. It's not what we should be looking at. I get the effect by aiming a USB camera at my laptop screen. Oh. Yeah, I figured out laptop. Video live streaming. Let me try this. See what you guys are seeing. I'm using my cell phone. Brilliant. YouTube, and then they stopped the other program I'm using, OSB, um, OBS rather. It's screwing that up. It's sort of blocking that. All right, so I'm on my cell phone and I'm seeing what you guys are seeing in just a moment. Ha, that's weird. It's showing. See your comments. I see something on my laptop different than what you guys see. On my laptop, you guys are looking at that wedding shot, I think, and I can see your comments instantly. Komodo 6. That is just stupid. Let me try to change one tab over. I'm trying to change the document. Okay, I'll go. We just went to a document page, so it takes a second to catch up. I'm thinking. Let's see if it does that. Then we're in business. I'm refreshing my cell phone, and hopefully it'll catch up. Come on, catch up. This is ridiculous. This live. What are they? What are they trying to get rid of? Document page is fine. How do you see the? And one person seeing the document page. Now I see it. Oh, they saw it before us because now I see it. All right, so we're moving on then. Wow, I don't see it on my cell phone. So you guys gonna have to comment to let me know if it's not catching up. I can see the comments, but I can't see anything live. Don't tell me. Maybe Google figure out how to tie it in to give the users a hard time. They really are screwing up. All right, so let's jump into it. Judge weighs dispute in FIU Bridge. This is going to be first from roads and bridges mimicking Miami Herald pretty much, but it's still out there. So it's good that different people are picking it up now. Roads and bridges is real soft. They didn't want to pick this up when everybody was talking about it. They didn't want to allude to anything. So now they're still the same way. Roads and bridges, and I get their magazine, the hard copy. They still suck because they're still not going out there taking a side. My position is that the NTSB, this court case is so important, is that because the NTSB is Congress back, it's federal government. If they're able to get a state to tell the state not to release FOIAs, they now can start making demands across the board. It's sort of like we lost our, your cell phone privacy. We lost our privacy altogether with that in the name of security, if you will. Once you start nibbling, you're going to finish it off, right? So this is a nibble against our rights again. This is not just something that they're hiding. So that's the underlying major thing that this really represents too. Not just that protecting FDOT and all those people. This is going to really make a huge step against our FOIA request. It's going to throw FOIA in the trash because now the federal government can just come across the board and say it all the time, which we now. And you guys know that they're having a hard time getting hold of documents from the Trump stuff. Whatever that guy is, always trying to get FOIA. Okay, judge hears argument FIU collapse records. I just lost something. Leon County. This is the second judge, as far as I know. It's at least the second judge. This is Kevin Carroll, and it's dated July 31st. This one is the Miami Herald, this link here. Now it is weighing in, and I'm going to add something. I'm going to burn myself. This is what Hermit missed in the other video that's no longer online. I'm going to burn myself a bit in this video, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep the video up. I gave it some thought, Hermit, on that last video, and I backed it down. It was too long for one. I wish it was shorter. So with that said, I'm going to keep it focused on this. And then I'll share, I guess I'll give you a scene stealer. They're having problems getting the documents, right? This is Miami Herald. My research of FOIA requests can find exemptions where the Miami Herald cannot get the documents because they're a newspaper. And FOIA doesn't somehow, it's a few exceptions. And if you stretch and look, you can find where Miami Herald is not really a citizen. They're the news, etc. So it doesn't really count. And the FOIAs are really for citizens, for you and I. And I've already put a FOIA request in for this. It's obviously in the trash can right now, wherever it is. So it's something for you and I that we can do. And I had tons of tabs up. I was going to do a video on how you guys can do FOIA and show you the research on how Miami Herald is actually kind of exempted out of this FOIA process with respect to this. And we know we have an ongoing investigation, and we know NTSB has reported that it would stop the people from cooperating. Well, you and I know that you would not cooperate if it's against your best interest. You take the Fifth Amendment. So to say that is ridiculous. You're going to protect yourself with lawyers, etc. And I'm going to burn myself in here. And so you're going to have to let me pause a moment to tell you. So I did get to see some documents on this. And I got to protect myself. I mean, I don't mind going to court now at this point. I gave it some few days thoughts, and I would even know how to, if I got subpoenaed saying, hey, where'd you get where are you alluding that you're getting your documents from? I would basically say, haul me into court and let's subpoena the documents that I'm not going to tell you where I got them from. Let's let my lawyer subpoena the documents. I'd have to make one appearance. So this would make a little problem for me. One appearance in Florida, right? And then my lawyer could take over from there. But it would, but I would let him know that my lawyer would quickly, and I do have a lawyer that would quickly let him know, and he's on board with it. I talked to him that he would quickly let him know that we're going to subpoena the document that he got to see, and we're going to do it universally. So there'll be no way to backtrack it. We've already figured that out. And how I saw it was a mistake. How's that? Okay, so I saw it via mistake. So I got to look at it. What I'm saying is that this statement here, and I'm going to just jump right into it. Here's the burning part of me. That this statement here, and this is what I think Hermit was here the other day. I thought he was. This statement here is true. All the damages sought by the claimants against FIGS arise out of FIGS acts and omissions as the engineer responsible for the bridge construction. Now, since I've had time to think about that video and think about what I'm going to say, I'm going to still stand with Denny Pate needs immunity. That what I saw the documents that this would help in the future, guys. This really would with any bridge builds, with all this stuff. It really would help in the future if you just give Denny Pate immunity. And the problem is you need to be able to be saying you're prosecuting someone. And therein lies the problem. Florida doesn't want to prosecute any fucking body because they're all on the take, supposedly. We have the prosecutor there already saying we don't see any problems. So you don't have to give Denny Pate immunity because the prosecutor's not prosecuting. So what? The cops are looking to it as an investigation. That's their job. They have to do it at that level. Then they turn it over to whom? The prosecutor. Now, I think the cops have access to the records I saw. And if you did, you clearly have a case of negligence. And since someone died in this negligence, this would be negligent homicide. Then you clearly have a case for negligent homicide. And now I'm not slandering or reaching. The document I saw clearly says fucking negligence. I have some law enforcement background that I'm going to finally disclose to you guys that with that statement there only. And it's clearly negligent homicide. They are so dialed in that this damn remember with the state as I showed you in other videos that what's his name, Senator Rubio is tied into the university. And the senator, of course, at that point you're just tied into politics, right? And he literally is getting money from MCM. MCM is partnering with FIG. They had the document I saw. They had a meeting, and in that meeting, it's very fucking clear that this bridge had a chance to collapse during post-tensioning. It's not even a fucking accident. It's very, it's very fucking clear that this bridge had a chance to collapse. There is no ambiguity about what I'm saying to you. Now, when these documents finally get released, and I'm still going to protect myself a little bit here, but when these documents get released, you'll see it. And I've alluded to where you guys can find it from in my videos. At the time, I was real bouncing around it, so I've known now for quite some months on this, and it goes back to where I don't want to give a timeline, so I'm gonna leave that timeline out. But I've known for some time now. When you guys maybe you saw me dial back on my videos. That's because after seeing that, it was like, okay, I know what direction to go, and and let me see the comments. I knew what direction to go and all, and it kind of took away my hunt. My hunt was more to find the failure. And after I got to see the document, it sort of killed my hunt, my construction engineering hunt for the failure, and it made it so obvious. And I was like, oh, it took my flavor away, guys. I know you guys saw me with all the vigor of all the videos, and then the vigor stopped. Well, once I saw what actually transpired, my vigor it was just like done, because it's not what we think it is. It is what we think it is, and you need to give Denny Pate immunity. You need to give him immunity. This is just a clear negligence, but you need to give the one guy that's totally responsible for this fucking negligent homicide, if you will, he actually needs a walk. Because if you give him a walk, we'll then disclose the FDOT's involvement, will involve FIU's involvement, we'll involve those two at minimum, and we'll see who is else present. But number one, you'll see that FDOT, and the reason why, Denny, why this is so important, because then it comes to the current bridge, the one that's in Florida, the other one that's to the crack. Can you guys tell me what bridge that is again? My brain's on freeze, and I did a 3-hour video on that, and I stopped it. Let me look at your comments. I can see these, I think. Yes, not an accident. Not an accident. Well, it was foreseeable, Hermit. That's an interesting way that I'm talking to you about it. It sort of reminds me of someone I'm talking to in an email now, that the way they reword it. And I'm not saying I'm not attacked by they're just giving you my files are loaded with that. The way you reword it, and so I can't really respond to not an accident. I mean, it wasn't intentionally done. So you could say it was accidentally done also, but the accident was negligent. Pensacola, thank you, Doss. So Pensacola, that's why it's so important. If this had come out right now, or resolve this fucking shit right now, FDOT would have to. You'd see why I have the other thing saying you need outside, where I said they need bounties to do this bridge stuff. They really need to pull it away from the states, and not just and this would also say pull it away from all states, literally. That if a crack shows up, and it shows up after the fact, that is well, wait a minute. Let me put my own 2 cents in this, guys. I know 100%. I've been on many bridge inspections with and job site inspections with the state there. Those guys are nepotism. I mean, I'm speaking from my experience. They've got no engineering back correction. Some of them do, some of them don't. The ones that do still run a soft foot. And frankly, contractors are very aggressive. It's bigger than them. They don't give a fuck. You're in a state job. You're not going to create waves. If you create waves, it's political again. It rolls back down towards them. You can circumvent your way around the engineer frequently if you make a big stink. And I'm not participating in that. I don't do that. I actually use the engineers in my favor. I go to the head engineers usually to show that the guy you have on the field is misinterpreting engineering guidelines or whatever. That's usually what I do. And then I usually get the head engineer out there, and I've never been wrong yet. I don't make that mistake. My point is, I don't know the qualifications of FDOT's person that was at that bridge representing Florida Department of Transportation. That's what we'd like to know. I don't know that person's qualifications. So maybe that's a hint to where I'm getting my data from for anybody who's watching this is considering hauling my ass in the court with them. So I might have just boxed myself in a little bit there. And it's just live, right? I was It was a hold my beer moment, Hermit. It was worse than that. Hold my beer. It was fuck it. I mean, I've only shared with a couple of users personally that actually what was said. Literally, I've talked to them on the phone. And so if you're there, don't say hi. I mean, yeah, don't say hi. I wouldn't want to do that. Um, but they have the inside scoop on that, and that's going to be interesting because when that finally comes out, we'll we'll we won't do shit. We'll just let it ride and say, that's it. Nobody wants truth to come out. These will be rabbit lawsuits. Well, the lawsuits that's already done. Like, look at this here. Believe me, this traveler's insurance must have seen the documents I saw, and I know Hermit said, "Well, this is not alluding to that." And I gave it some thought, Hermit, and I just keep thinking this would be slanderous if they're just making this as a different reading than what it is. You read 64 by itself. It is a bullet. It is 64. You're allowed to read it by itself in the context of the original topic. All of the damages sought by the claimants against FIG arise out of FIG's act and omissions as the engineers responsible for the bridge construction. This is their statement, the insurance company statement. They're not saying that all the lawsuits that are being there should be only the result of FIG, and the result of FIG that we should be pulled out because of insurance, that we were never notified of. What they're saying is that we were never notified of they went out because we were never notified of their partnership with MCM. And our insurance clearly states that if they make a partnership, that we're not, that we don't cover partnerships, not unless it's disclosed. And therefore we obviously will take thought into that and charge you more, or maybe they wouldn't. But this is very clear that this is like a Freudian statement here and a clear statement. This, to me and to what I know, guys, that this is clearly them reading it and saying, you know what, we can say that, and they can't do shit about it. They can't say that this is wrong. I mean, they can't say this is wrong. FIG isn't coming forward and giving out saying this is wrong data. And the reason why they can't come out, guys, is because the documents are already there. This is what they're protecting. I saw the major kill document. This is the one that would majorly just say, okay, all the other documents are kind of moot at this point. Yeah, give them to me, the data. But we really want, again, Denny Pate, guys. You need Denny Pate because he's the head engineer that said go ahead with this thing, with this post-tensioning. He's going to tell you his thinking because now he's got exemption, right? From the law. He'll tell you his thinking. And maybe it's something as simple as too big to fail. Now that's going to bring it back to the grant money. It's going to bring it back to FIU. It's going to bring it back to at what point was it too big to fail? This design. Maybe he'll say that this design was bad way before this and start speaking up. Maybe he'll say that, how you did the handshakes, maybe some handshakes here. You guys know what I mean by handshakes. Maybe he'll say some handshakes took place. Give him immunity on everything. Of course, you can never practice again, and that's that. And even give him immunity against lawsuits. All right, let FIG Engineering take the loss. He is a partner in FIG Engineering, so he can take the financial loss under that. Also, tell him part of this, well, you can't tie it into any other structures he might have this issue with, because then he's not going to take immunity because that's going to cost him more money. Because I don't know if you guys know it, they own quite a lot of bridges that they collect tolls on, or they own a couple of bridges. Come on, Kat. I'm trying to stay focused here. Let me see comments. Yep, 64 is a true statement, but about damages claimed. Yeah. Okay, so Pensacola Bay Bridge. This will come out that will show that there is no way in hell you'd allow FDOT to make your decisions for you on the Pensacola Bridge. And there's no way in hell you'd allow the engineer of record to make your decision for you about any cracks again. This is what this would do. What you guys would see when you see this document come out, you'll never allow an engineer of record to make another decision on a crack across the United States, and hopefully it would go worldwide. It will never happen again. Now, with that, there is one fucking person that really makes it clear in this whole document, I'm going to say, that I saw. It makes it clear of the hazard that could cause DEATH. Oh yeah, death. That could cause death. And it was totally regarded. And this is what I find amazing. This is what I find amazing. This is why you need it, guys. And they all took party to this. Now, now, VSL. Let's talk about them on the bridge and all that. They're another engineering firm that I think should be really screwed because, and I don't mean in a bad way. I mean they should be really investigated also, because at some point, see with me, I don't know. I think you guys saw me in the other video. I'd rather go to jail than tell my sources, and I really would. I'm built that way, and I've got history of that not going to jail, but history of not giving up my sources, of keeping my word. So we have, in other words, I'm saying that VSL and I have integrity. So if I see something wrong, I document it, and it might come to the point where I walk off the job if it's not being addressed, that it's being ignored. If I think it's that major, that I'll walk off the job and say, no, I got to part company with you because I can't use I call it using my hands to do your work. I can't do that. These are my hands, meaning my mind, my everything. It's what I don't do your bidding for you in that respect. Once you start crossing the line of something dangerous, and quite often I run into contractors who want to do something dangerous and want me to support it, and no, at that point, no, it's a break. And so Denny Pate should have has a conflict of interest, since he also has sweat in the game, the bridge, and he's a company person there. Once you do the plans, yes, he's engineer of record and all that. You had the backup of the other engineer looking at it, Bert Louis Berger, right? And he did some changes to it, and we came up with the 2017 plans. Now we have VSL, who I'm saying would be in a position of myself, should have said, you know what? This is a crack. We're the crack experts. We do crack bridge repairs across the nation. We need more data on this. We need some gamma testing. We need whatever we need. We're not going to perform. So what I'm saying is that if they didn't perform this, if they would have had some integrity, and I'm not slanderous, hopefully, guys, that's not my intention. I'm saying integrity for their company, or integrity as far as their motto, bridge builders, or an engineering firm also. They should have said, we're the experts at this point. We have to bring this to a stop, to Denny Pate and to everybody else who wanted to proceed. Remember, they had a 2-hour meeting. They should have said, we're the experts, and you're not going to use our hands to perform further, because we think this would be a dangerous actions using our hands, your mind, our hands. And so, and it literally results in deaths. So this is what I'm driving at. If you look at here, this is basically what I'm telling you guys. I can't give you the exact source. Wish I could, but you have to trust me that what I'm saying, you'll see it all with the way I'm wording it. You'll say, oh shit, everything he's saying fell right into this video that we're saying. All right. So they should have spoken up. And now with that said, that's again why Denny Pate would be the one, because we don't see why Denny Pate. He's an engineer of record. Everybody had to come to him with data. We know what he's thinking about. We can correct everything. No one else took charge, buddies. No one else took charge. And it's him. When it says figs rise out of figs, no one else took charge. And he could burn everyone that gets everyone's asses corrected, so this changes in the future for all bridge construction. This is the major thing I'm driving at. Not trying to get Denny Pate. That's a pound of flesh shit. You're missing what we need to do for the future, such as the Pensacola Bridge. And this post-tensioning shit needs to come to a fucking stop. Post-tensioning, yes, I get it. Tension, it resists tension. But when you're doing segments and things like that, you're now creating a shear between there. And the locking, I'm not catching on to the interlocking of this. It's all being done through tension. And, I like to see some arches. Yeah, let me correct that statement. I like to see it. The arch is designed into this segmented bridge. That's their invention. And so this will be sort of my patent on it by me talking to you guys about it. When you arch it, make every segment a slight angle. So ultimately it's a segmented bridge that ends up being an arched bridge. and so everything's in like compression. And so you use the compression initially to do the segmented overhangs and make it tie together to the structural building of it, and just a taper on it where the taper butts. And at that point, you now have an arched bridge, and you guys know arched bridges are badass. And now you do get to use your concrete, you do get to use your post tensioning, but it becomes arched bridge as your primary transferring of loads. But they're doing these straight fucking flat bridges. I don't care about the handicapped people. Tough fucking shit. Get some power escalators for the fuckers. Use your damn hands. I don't care if I'm handicapped. I'm the same way. It's the majority of the people that matter too, not just for something like a bridge. This has to be an exception. We got to stop with this handicap for everything. And the bridge being level mostly and flat was mostly a handicap requirement, an ADA. This thing had a crown in it, and you arched it. You'd arch the underside of it. It would also give you a flat bridge. It's more money. I guess I'm moving away. And that the handicap thing with the flatness of it is really pissing me off, that you then can only counteract it with post-tensioning. And this is what I'm saying, is that more engineers need to speak up about post-tensioning. They need to bail on this damn post-tensioning and move away from it. This is a post-tensioning bridge failure. This is an engineering firm, FIG, loving post-tensioning. Their whole bridge concept of them is post-tensioning. Now, I'm not just attacking them on that. I really think it's just not sound engineering. This post-tensioning has just got one issue after another. The handicap solution, even after arch. I really don't care about the handicap one that way. Sorry, you need to get across the bridge and you're in a wheelchair, bring a friend. They can, ask to call the little call box, and the bridge cop can come push you over. All right, then you're done. So what? You got to ask for assistance. Hey, you're crippled. You're in a damn wheelchair. Relax, chill out, accept your limits. I know I would, and that's it. But I'd do it as a challenge, guys. I would. I hurt my back at one point. My ass. People made fun of me. I was bent over like I couldn't believe it. I know what real back pain feels like. I was bent over like a damn old person, if you will. Like you see those guys bent over like 90 years old with their back problems. I was doing that. I'd use a cart in the mall to push around. I'm pushing around a cart with nothing in it because I'm faking like I'm faking like I'm leaning on the cart. That cart was holding, that was my position, my body position. Finally, I turned it off. I think I talked to you about that. Turned it off, figured out that, I just got to turn it off and take the pain. So literally, I have this to take about 80 pounds, and it will bend my ass over. It will hit the nerves and crush them, make me bend over. I found the limits on them. That's another. In other words, hey, tough luck. We got to move on. We got to keep moving. People made fun of me. My friends made fun of me about being bent over. I didn't cry, and I didn't feel like a lonely dove. All right, moving on. Holy crap, Kai is tough. Yeah, thank you. So I am kind of tough, every which way, I think. And that's actually why some of the guys hire me. They want me to kick ass, and I don't know if I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore about 2 years ago. That I'm not going to be there kicking your workers' ass, telling everybody, that they're, when I see things, really, this is how you tie. Because literally, I have a construction engineering background, so I literally can do everything they do. They can tie rebar. I can tie rebar. I just don't know it in paper format. I know it in physical format. They can carry rebar. Oh, well, I'll stay under 80 pounds, right? They can carry rebar to me. So, and I can show them how to tie it. Nevertheless, I'm moving on. So this is this. Now moving over to the next tab, and I'll digress back to that. Here's the court documents, and this was in the other video, so I feel like I want to hit it on this one. This is NTSB stalling. So there's 3 Ds, and I said this in the other video that I learned that people that they're doing now. The delay, deny, delay, and defend. So there's 3 Ds that they do. So first you deny it, and then you delay it, and then you go back around again. So if they say, yeah, we must proceed, then you try to deny it again about, well, I think you're wrong. You try to go back again. You try to deny, you try to burn them out financially. So this is what you got here, 3 Ds. So first, on June 15th, the United States made a notice indication it was considering, this word considering, to participate. it's just bullshit. All right, but there's considering under this statute. So then and they said they would have that answer by the 25th. The notice further stated that the government anticipated that it would be able to complete its process of consideration by, see, they look at the tricky wording. They're going to complete their consideration by June 27th. Not they'll submit. The government filed a second notice on June 27th advising it intended to file a further status update on or before July 11th, then saying, well, we agreed that we'll submit. It's just craziness. They agree that, yeah, first they got the courts to agree to give them a consideration time. And now they're saying that we finish our consideration, that we'll be able to complete it. They did a delay saying that we need to June 27th. And then, God, and then they delayed again, saying on June 27th that they'll be able to give an update on July 18th. However, as of today, the review process is still ongoing. The government will provide a further status update on July 25th. They keep delaying, and this is for the court. This is the United States Attorney. So that's the 3Ds, and then we come to 2 days ago. These are the parties, and I'll put links on this video. These are the parties that are suing for their money. And guys, when you see it, this is an open shut case. Everybody here, I don't know if they're all tied in relative wise, court legally wise. I'm sorry. Everybody there that died is a victim, and any of their heirs should be allowed money, right? Unless you can find a way that they should not be allowed money, but they are all victims. It's not an accident, that an act of God. There is no act of nature, or whatever guys want to call it. There's no earth movement. So that would have been awesome, right? If the earth moved, then it would have been an act of nature, and that's that. But there was no earth movement. This was a people movement. Okay, so this is 6 days ago. It says the federal government is now missing in action in a lawsuit over records on March. Okay, this is their statement, and I like the statement, that sound, because you saw they are missing action. They just keep doing that delay and everything else. It appears they're not. I could not find where they finally made their final document on the 25th. Kevin Carroll's the attorney, judge, and he's the second one. And Judge Cooper was the first judge there. And they said it was because there's a routine rotation. And, trying to find corruption in this would be, pretty damn hard to prove. So we're moving on against these guys. But I look at all the connections. All right, so that's them, and I'll give you this link to that. But moving over to your left again, they went out. As you can see, Travelers Indemnity Company in Connecticut, and the Phoenix Insurance Company. They both went out because of the not disclosed partnership, and we know that they were partners. As of July 31st, this is Miami Herald's sharing a version of this, I didn't read this article incidentally because I think it doesn't matter. They're just trying to half quote the judges or give their own. So I'll give you the link to this, but I've already seen the real data, which you guys saw too, the real court documents that I shared there. So I don't need the Miami Herald to give it to me. I saw the court releases, and this is whatever this station is right here, right? The request records include meeting minutes, emails, and other documents relating to the bridge design and construction. This is the nail, guys. Let me see what you got here. This is what they're protecting. Let me read your comment. This is Embryo's business partner. Embry's business partner. Got you. Embryo, let me read it. So right here, I guess I'm kind of confused about the comment. I'm looking at real small print on my cell phone. It's tough to read it. Let me try to enlarge it. That didn't really work. I'll come back to that. Right here, guys, this is it. That's why I highlighted it. This right here, the requested records include minutes, meeting minutes, emails, and other documents relating to the bridge design and construction. This would be nice, right? Yeah, it would be nice. You want one more document. One more document. You guys, let me give me a minute to figure out how to, okay, I know how to word it. So who showed up here? NTSB, the Miami Police Department, the Fire Department, the Medical Services, the OSHA. Um, who else showed up? Um, all these people showed up. You need all their documents. You need all their documents. Once you get their documents, you will have this. Once you get their documents, this is not needed. This, yeah, it's nice, but this, remember, all this is going to be worded nicely. This is bullshit. You know, if you get the emails from, or rather the photographs you see we got released from the bridge engineer, the inspecting engineer there, his stuff was all soft, not using a crack tester properly, not saying, demanding this. So you read that, that'll just send you down an endless, everything looks good. This bridge is okay. Everything's awesome as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's going to be one email that says, this looks like a fuck up happening. I don't think you're going to find one email that says that, because it would have to be also documented to the federal government, because this is a grant money. And FIU had to report back to the federal government. So you're not going to see this is a fuck up from FIU writing that in any email, in any response to any of that bridge stuff, because that would have been reportable to, as an update to, well, you know what? I really try to find what the update looks like for this grant money. And I had to take that back a little bit. I couldn't find out where it says you must report all fuck ups. It doesn't really say that, but you would think that that would be part of your process, that you report fuck ups. Hey, we're using your money, your 100+ million dollars here, and whatever millions, what's 20 million, what's all together. We're using your money, but it seems like we're screwing your money over. We're sending it down, throwing it down a bad well here. This bridge design is coming to a failure. It doesn't really look like it's working. We're getting cracks and everything else. That's why I said too big to fail, that video. This is nice, right? But this is not what you really want. You really want all those people that I just said who took notes. You want their notes. And if you guys remember that I don't know if I posted that video. NTSB, it turns out, okay, I'm sharing this with you now. NTSB has to do field notes, and I can say this one for you. Every last person you saw on that NTSB web out here, every last one, this one, wait a minute, this one, you know where I'm going with this. Every last one has to do a field notes. I did all the research on this. From that, the head guy, which would be that one guy, has to look at the field notes. That's the thing, he has to agree with the field notes. And when I say has to agree, because if he disagrees with the field notes, he has to state why he disagrees with it. The person that made those field notes has to go back and forth with him in this case, the guy, right? And they have to resolve why they disagree on those field notes. So if it's not resolved, then I think, now I'm messing up. I think he gets to change it any damn way, not change the field notes, change it. They get to do something like say, I disagree with him disagreeing, something of that nature. Of course, you're burning yourself down in your job, especially if you're talking to the head man, right? How you gonna tell your boss you're full of shit? I disagree. You got to be built like me, where I don't give a shit. I'm going to stand my ground, but I will not stand my ground if I find you're thinking on what I'm thinking to be correct. I'll go, ooh, I missed that. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm like 87% perfect. So 13% I'm wrong. You guys got to figure out which 13% that is. So I can be perfect with anything that I put my mind to with the information we have. And anybody can be if you really work on it. You just need more data until you finally make it perfect to what you need to get done. All right. So this is perfect for a pedestrian bridge. I can make a perfect pedestrian bridge. All right. This is not a perfect pedestrian bridge. Obviously, it was made out of concrete. Could I make a perfect pedestrian bridge out of concrete using this design? Impossible. It already showed that this design fails. Impossible. All right. So using those limits. All right. So the requested records include minutes. So they need more. They need the field notes. This is what they need. Now, you guys said you should get hold of Miami Herald and all that. They didn't get hold of me. Someone wrote them and told them to get hold of me. I said, who'd you write, and et cetera. They told me, so I went on their Twitter page. I clicked on them and said, basically, hey, get hold of me. I'd like to share some stuff with you. I didn't tell them about my YouTube channel or anything else. I just played general like that. They didn't even wink. Did not even wink. So I was like, oh, whatever. They have their own agenda, the Miami Herald. And so it's really whatever it might be. Hell if I know. Remember, I told you, I think they're part of damn lobbyists now. But they're into it too deep for this lawsuit. They can't just drop it out of nowhere, right? But they can soft track their way out. Because do you see them attacking anything here? Well, oops, back over one, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Here's the judge hears arguments. The state Department of Transportation, filed a motion to dismiss the suit and cited a federal regulation that shields documents relating to the NTSB investigation, saying it supersedes state statute. Okay, so there. Remember, that's what I started this video off with. If this passes, that means all federal governments now can stop all states from releasing documents just by telling them, "Hey, you can't release those documents." That's it. We don't have to give a reason because, and why I'm saying we don't, literally, I'm saying that because you can see that when they went to the judge, they delayed and delayed. They're not giving reasons to the judge. They're literally not giving reasons to the judge. They're just saying, don't do it. And then doing this delay thing that we'll respond when we respond. And they never respond. But there is, amazingly, though, they could hit it under I found the exceptions where Miami Herald should not get the FOIA request. I mean, I did find it, and then I lost the tabs. It was a lot of work, and I was so excited about doing a video for that. And my history is terrible, guys. My history here, the way I jump around, it would take me forever to get all those documents again. So just trust me on it. They can find exception, and I wish they would have just documented it. And it's basically because they're news. But you and I can get around that exception. FOIA in the city of, so they're saying, so in other words, the state is saying that they can get protection because the federal government is telling them not to, let's call it that, because that's who they are. Congress is telling the state not to release it. Since when the hell does the state listen to Congress like NTSB? NTSB is Congress. FIU and the city of Seawater, which was also involved in the project, also cited the ongoing NTSB investigation. See how everyone's hiding behind this? They're hiding behind it because what I'm telling you, it's going to show that they knew this fucking bridge was going to collapse. That they knew it was going to collapse. Not. So rewording that they knew the potential for this bridge to collapse while they were doing it. That this was discussed. Not even 100% discussed, guys. This was discussed. You know about slander, right? I cannot be sued for slander for the statement. 100%, I cannot be sued for slander for the statement. They can't even make a court case to haul me into court unless they're trying to bluff me. Because I'll just, I'd have my lawyer locally just quickly tell them, here, go find this. You want it? But we don't make sure that we get the documents that way because we make them play fair rules. I'm a quid pro quo guy. You're not going to just get me to answer one way. You're going to give me some fucking documents too. And then I'm going to post this shit on YouTube. I'll be ahead of everybody then. So I'm protected that way. They can't fuck with me. And it's not slander. 100% it was discussed about this bridge collapsing. So I'm going to end the video now unless you guys are saying something. Yeah, Gary, it's the way I do it, man. These are all the tabs from here down are on this topic. Somewhere about here is on some health stuff. This is me having to update my PayPal. This is me have to do something with B&H with my photography thing. This is something to actually do with my motorhome. This is my real estate stuff. So I can look at the tabs and actually figure out what each one does. This is a video I have to finish watching right here. This is on concrete analysis, stair design, as you can see, part 2. This is under, well, I'll click on it and bounce out for you guys. Hopefully it won't start. Steel frame stairway design, I'm down here somewhere. But it's refreshed when I refresh my tab, when I shut my thing down, structural steel. And this is what I listen to for fun. You guys can go there. You can subscribe there if you've got enough mind power to play with that. Because it's real engineering talk, and it's really not going to be slow, and it's going to be real formulas and things like that. So You got enough. If you're that deep into this, then you can jump into that. And you might be able to follow a lot of it in general. Like, for example, no example. I said I wouldn't sidetrack, and I just did. And that's catching up with us now. So we have, how about some post-tension stairs? DOS. This post-tensioning thing, I don't want to get into it, but again, with the bridge. It's all about, stopping the tension failure in concrete. And in that solid bridge, that works for me. That solid FIU bridge, the length of it, it's all solid, no segments, it's all one piece, supposedly, the bottom floor, right? And the top also, one pour. See, I'm okay with that if you can handle expansion somehow. But the moment you make a section, you say this is a section here and a section here, and you hold it together with post-tensioning, it also has a shear that can go from where they connect. The two of them connect. This has a shear, and that's have a shear, and that has a shear. You have points that can move. So that can move. This side can move. So that's two there and two here. And each one can move independently, and you can create a shear moment when you're crossing over. So if you guys, I got permission. I'll do another video. I got permission from one of the engineers that are working on the bridge that the Christiana River Bridge that we were looking at, and he told me I could badmouth the post-tensioning on that, and I was, I'm affiliated with it. I did not want to badmouth it at this time. So he said, he knew my intentions, and eventually to critique it after it was completed. I'm allowed to do it then. But he said, no, you go for it now. He thought it should be steel, and it got changed to, by powers that be, got changed to concrete. So he told me, no, that I can go ahead and start bad mouthing it. So I'm waiting for one of the closures to happen, and I've got video already up. And once they do the closure, I'm going to look at it then and confirm that the closure is not countering my own statement. I don't want to do a bad mouth and then see that somehow they made a closure joining the two pieces together that resolves shear. And they sure could make a piece like that. I have a few things in mind. It would be back to steel. It'd be under the like the I-beam. It would be basically wrapping the I-beam and resolving the shear point in that way. It would keep everything in, if you guys can imagine that. And I don't have an image I can pull up for you by chance. But it would resolve the shearing, and it would put the bridge back in tension. Because when you run a cable through, imagine this is a section here, this photograph, right? And put another section next to it of another photograph. Run a cable through the bottom of it, pull them together real tautly. So now they're butting. Now they can't separate, right? They cannot separate. As I put a load here, it's so tight, taut down the bottom here, it's still not separating. I'm driving over it. Transfer from this side of the bridge, this block to this block, if you will. So while I'm on this side, I'm creating a moment, pushing down a shearing of action going on right at that cable. It's some forces. And now the cables are supposed to be sized to resolve this deflection. But I don't know if people are resolving the shearing of it, the shearing ability of it. And I'm wondering if that's where a lot of these bridges are failing now on their shear, because we had that bridge in, which I couldn't find any data on yet, where all the cables popped at once. And that's that one in South Carolina. And I got to get away from that, guys. I'm losing focus. So got to get away from that. We can't do that. Can't do it. I want to keep it on this bridge only, and that's another topic. How about some right? U.S. infrastructure is massively under-maintained. The concern down the road is post-tension scheme. Yeah, post-tension is really going to be, the VSLs could make money, but here's the problem with the VSL now. This is why, again, this ties in again why Denny Pate should be giving a free pass, because he would then show that VSL didn't speak up. They should have spoken up, or they did speak up, right? They didn't stop. They didn't come to a stop. They didn't have the integrity that I have. They say, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not doing it. Done. I could sue for breach of contract when I do walk off, guys, but I don't do that. I just take my money and try to go away happily, shaking hands, and I'll work for them again, but nothing on that one. My day stopped at this date. and I send an email, and that's it. I don't say why, or sometimes I do. I document it for sure, but I don't say why to the general public. But I do say why, documenting to them um, what's going on. It was only one time that I did speak up to the general, that I can recall recently, that I spoke up to the owner of the job, because at that point it was a safety issue, and that was it. And that's what I'm saying VSL should do. It was a safety issue. They should have stopped it. It wasn't just. It was a direct safety issue. It wasn't a safety issue down the line, down the road. It wasn't like, hey, you should be using a 2x6 here instead of a 2x4, thinking something very small for you guys like that. Where the 2x4 is going to hold the load and it's going to fail later. It was something that was going to fail then. So, and they were still proceeding. So that's when I immediately walked off. Now, with that said, back to this. This is what VSL should have done. Post-tension guys right here doing their work, they should have walked, not them, they wouldn't, they might not have known. They might not have known. So they did know to a degree. They did know to a degree. I don't know their backgrounds as far as, their full backgrounds, but they did know to a degree what they were doing was extremely dangerous. How's that? They did know to a degree. Not all of them. Some of VSL's representatives. So I can't say all of them. Maybe they all knew. I don't know. So I'm not slandering anybody here. Some of them knew. Not all of them knew that I could. Not all of them knew that I can prove. But some of them knew I can prove that I can say, and it's not slanderous. Remember, guys, I'm willing. You can't touch me with my comment now. I'm not doing a slanderous comment. So you can't touch me. All my videos, you won't find slander in any one of my videos. Not one of them. And that's why I tell people, you saw me say a few times, if you find anything wrong, anything I'm saying to VSL, to MCM, to FIG, to any of them, you find anything that I've said that slanders any of my videos, any of them, and I'll pull down all of them. So there'll be no record of this in the entire future for people to look at. That's my offer. You cannot find anything slanderous in any of my videos. They all can be backed. But also my tie-in is you must also release documents to me if you're trying. You just can't say it, that I can't prove it. You must also cooperate with me to give me the data. All right, so now because I have seen the data, they did have again VSL. We're gonna wrap this up unless you guys want to, unless I'm missing something. Denny Pate, guys, he needs to give up. They need to give him immunity, but no one's prosecuting his ass. As you can see, the federal government's not interested in prosecuting him. The state's not interested in prosecuting him. Who else do you have? Who else do you have to fucking prosecute this bridge? You got people doing lawsuits in court. That's it. Civil lawsuits going on. And so you can hear my voice dial down because that's the size of it. This is our government these days. This is what's going on these days. But this school is dialed in, and it's too big to fail, and it's simple as that. Nobody's prosecuting any fucking body. Not a single person's going to friggin' jail. They're just trying to figure out how they can make this thing stretch out forever. And who would even speak up, guys? I'm telling you what is none of it slanderous. I'm telling you they had knowledge that we know this is negligence, homicide. In Philadelphia, they'd already be locked up. They'd already be arrested. They'd already be asking for extension of time to proceed with the court date. I can prove that with the docks down there that have collapsed, that they jumped right on it. They start, hauling people's ass into the police station immediately, and that was that. So, and people died. It was like 12 people died on this one dock in Philadelphia. Another guy was demolition contractor working next to a Salvation Army, demolitioning, and he was within the footprint, but his building, part of the building fell over and killed someone. They didn't say, "Oh yeah, we can see where that accident could happen." Yeah, and we did give you the permit to do it, and we didn't tell you had to close down the store next door. So no, it's all the stuff you should have understood, or somehow. And so they locked his ass up. How many people have been locked up on this? And yet they have 100%, guys. They have 100% the fucking data to lock people up. And that's not slanders. They have 100% the fucking data to lock people up. And they're not locking up a single friggin' person. And now we got this bridge down, the other bridge that's going to be an issue. Anything else? I'm hanging up. That's the best way to end this video. Okay, I'm going to please enable, yeah. I'll leave the comments and oops, that's not going to do it. Hangouts. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. Stop broadcast. All right, take care, guys.